Flies, fucking hell. I'm heading into the city today, trying to vlog, and there are flies everywhere. I got my Fujifilm X-Pro2, and I'm gonna continue testing it. If you've seen my other video, oh my god, what a start. As I was trying to say earlier, I'm out today shooting with my Fujifilm X-Pro2, which is on loan to me from Fujifilm Australia. If you saw my previous video, you'll know all the stuff that they sent to me. And today I'm testing out the 10-24 f4 lens. It's got an optical image stabilizer, so I want to see what it's like for video. And not so much doing video with the Fuji, but potentially if I'm going to use it with another Fujifilm, I want to know what the video is like on that. Does that make sense? So yeah, I'll be interested to know what the focal range is like, and I'm currently in Flinders Street, Flinders Lane area of Melbourne, Australia. So it seems the flies aren't anywhere near as bad when you're in the middle of the city, but I am dreading the days when it's like 40-degree heat. Today is 32, but it seems alright.
And they don't know what to do?
So you may have seen one of my previous videos doing some street photography around this part of Melbourne, so this is like Centre Place. And one thing that I'm definitely looking forward to doing the same thing with the X-Pro2 is kind of some more inconspicuous shots. So this, as a street photography camera, is so much more, I guess, subtle and less in your face. It's a lot smaller, there's no branding, it's just kind of hides into the background really. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how the results come out today. So one thing I didn't really explain much about in my first video on the X-Pro2 is the viewfinder. So it's kind of unique to Fujifilm that they've got this style of thing. I've not really seen it in others, but what they have is an EVF and OVF in one. So essentially what that means is, with the flick of a switch, you can go from an electronic viewfinder to an optical viewfinder, and you can use it just like an old school rangefinder camera. So at the moment it's in electronic mode, which means that it's just showing an electronic display, and if I flick the switch you'll get an optical display. So this is now in optical mode. Notice how you can actually see your thumb and the lens through the viewfinder, and then there's a white marking that just shows what it expects the range to be with the lens that's currently on. So it's kind of a weird way of using a camera, but it's actually quite nice because you can use it in general low light and it's kind of nice and easy on the eye. Oh, this is hard to do one-handed. So yeah, the switch is just on the front and you literally just flick it like that and it changes the viewfinder. So I do really like using the viewfinder on the Fujifilm cameras. This one though, I do kind of struggle a little bit with, because it's off to the side, and I'm used to shooting SLR style where you're literally looking directly down the lens. So I do find myself kind of pulling up to the camera and then realizing I have to adjust to the side, which kind of seems a bit silly to continue to make that mistake, but it's just a muscle memory thing. Eventually I'll put the viewfinder in front of my eye, not off my ear. So one thing I like about the viewfinder setup on this Fujifilm is that after you've taken the picture, it shows a preview, but only for 0.5 seconds, or longer if you want to set it. But in comparison to my Sony a7R, the minimum on that is 2 seconds, which is actually a little bit too long if you want to have a preview after you've taken it. So I find this just generally a lot easier to use. Now there is one thing that kind of bothers me with this viewfinder, and that's the actual eye cup itself. It really doesn't stick out that much. And I've kind of got really long eyelashes, so it doesn't really work that way with my eyes. I kind of have to hold it close to my face rather than against my face. I can't really rest it on my eyebrow. So that's one downside that's kind of bothering me a little bit, is that my eyelashes kind of smear the lens a little bit on the viewfinder. Now I am kind of killing time, so if you're aware of Melbourne, you'll know that I've pretty much just walked around the block. So it's because I'm actually waiting for someone and going to meet them and go shoot with them. Melbourne is busy with photographers out today. I've actually had 3 people come up who recognise me. I don't know. I don't really know what to say. That's kind of weird. Unfortunately, I didn't vlog that, but take my word for it. Also, just had some guy asking to get my my expertise on taking a picture of him next to some graffiti, us to get his feet in it, but also the top of the graffiti to be at the bottom of the image. I don't know, it's a bit weird. So today I'm testing out the 10-24 f4 lens. Last week I was mostly using the 35 f2, so I'll just run you through some of my thoughts on that whilst I'm waiting. So 10-24 is actually a lot wider than I'm usually used to shooting with. 24mm is kind of a good range for me, but going 10 is actually really quite wide. Now, as with pretty much all Fujifilm lenses, the aperture dial is on the lens itself. Now this one, unfortunately, is kind of a continuous infinity ring. It doesn't actually have any stops marked on the lens. It's also a lot looser than the other lenses, so I do generally... Oh dear, siren. Let's do that again. And it's also fairly loose in comparison to other lenses, so that generally means that sometimes when I pick it up, I may actually change the aperture without really knowing and continue shooting, and there's maybe a couple of shots until I spot it, which of course is not a good trait to have when you're picking up your camera. Now there is an auto and a aperture control switch here, so you can just flick it all the way into auto and then all the way into manual aperture. Now I have mainly been shooting in aperture priority, and at times I have even shot at about a quarter or even half a second shutter speed, and I've not even noticed. So the optical image stabilizer has actually worked really well. I guess if I was paying attention to the shutter speed more, maybe I would have upped the ISO or something, but that's kind of a good thing that it happens in the background. You don't really have to worry too much about it. Now one thing I am kind of struggling a little bit with this lens is the focal ring itself is kind of stiff, so to turn it and change your focal length from 10 to... Some guy just ducked and it's clearly pointed at my face. So to change from 10 to 24mm, there's a lot more resistance on the lens in comparison to other lenses I've used, in particular my Canon ones, which I'm most familiar with. The other thing is the focal range goes the opposite way to a Canon lens, so I'm having to train my brain to do that, but I know that happens across different camera manufacturers. What is going on? It's currently Christmas in Melbourne. It's my first summer in the Southern Hemisphere, and oh my god, it's so weird having a hot Christmas. So I'm enjoying shooting with this 10-24 lens. I think the images are pretty sharp. I'll have to check when I import them later. But if I'm honest, I think I much prefer the 35mm. It just generally is a... I don't know, maybe it's because it's a prime. I just enjoy shooting with that a lot more. So I just popped into Michael's camera because I'm kind of interested in upgrading my vlogging camera. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but this G7X recently, the picture and the audio quality has really deteriorated from when I first got it, and I want to kind of upgrade, but I want to go to something bigger and better than a G7X, but not as big as something like an 80D. So I was actually looking at the EOS M5. Looks like a great camera. It does, you know, pretty much everything I want it to, except for the fact that the screen flips down, which of course means that if you put it on the surface, you can't have the screen out to see what you're filming. So that's the only major downfall I've had with it. If any of you guys are using an M5 for vlogging, leave a comment below. I'd love to know what your thoughts are, and if it's something that I should kind of test out. Because yeah, I do really want to upgrade this vlogging system, but I can't really make the right decision on it at the moment. Unfortunately, there were no charged batteries, so I couldn't even test out the M5 for the video quality. But from what I can tell, I think it's the same sensor as what's in an 80D, so that should be a pretty good video setup, really. And of course, there's a mic input, so I can put a small mic on there. Probably a Rode Video Micro or Video Mic Me connected into the side directly, something like that. One thing I've noticed with the X-Pro2 that is different to other cameras I've been using a lot recently, and that's the lack of a flip-out screen. I never realised how much I would appreciate a flip-out screen until I had a camera that did one. And just now I was trying to get shots from up ahead, and I couldn't see the screen because of the glare on the glass itself. If it flipped down, then I would have been able to have seen it, obviously. So that's something that I definitely would like to have seen in this camera. I know it's on the X-T2 and also the X-T10, and obviously I have that on my Sony as well. So So yeah, we've been walking around various laneways and I've actually met up with Elly and Alamby. And we're going to go out shooting, both Fuji shooters. So Alamby's with a X-Pro2.
Yes.
So that's the same as what I'm with today. And then you know Elly's got the Fuji X-T10. So yeah, we're carrying on some of the laneways now. We're just going to catch some final shots in Southern Cross Station because the roof and the architecture looks pretty amazing. And there's still got flies everywhere. Alamby was saying that apparently it gets even worse in the summer, so I'm not looking forward to that. Check out this station. Woof! So the reason that we've all met up is that we're going to a Travel Massive event. Now if you saw in Manila at TBEX, we went to a Travel Massive there and now we're at one in Melbourne. But yeah, generally we've just been walking around Melbourne, catching all the laneways. That's one thing I really love about Melbourne is there's so many laneways and just side streets that are so enticing to look at and you get all the perspective shots. I'm sure all the shots that I've got here today have been mostly laneways and alleyways. Make sure you go and check out the blog. I'll have images all posted up there along with my other Fujifilm images, and you'll see a full roundup as I post these videos throughout December. So that may actually be a little bit of time, so you can subscribe to my newsletter via your email address on the website and you'll get notified when that comes out. This is the right building, yeah? Yeah. Level 7?
We're going to be the first ones there.
Left. Yeah, that's quite a nice office. It's not a door. Welcome to Travel Massive. I'm going to try this one. Oh, is that cider?
Cider, yeah.
Oh no. Then I'm going to go for the Aussie one.
What do you want this one?
What's that? Is that the last one?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to go for the last one then. We're on a little tour of the Intrepid offices. Check out these light boxes with all the slides. These photos are amazing as well. I've got no idea what year. Apparently this mural was painted in a day and a half. What? This is a comment from TripAdvisor, probably. I love this. This is a cork map of the world. You could literally just pin anything on it. Obligatory ping pong table for a cool office. And then more cork signage. How cool is this place? So this is a bit of a test of the X-Pro2. I'm roped in to do the group photo tonight. What may benefit...
it's just going to be a while.
Yeah, I think what may benefit is if we try and do like 3 rows rather than 2. Alright, 3, 2, 1. Cool, so I've taken a few. Everyone's finishing up at Travel Massive now and we're going to head home and I'm going to finish this vlog. Okay, so I know today's been kind of a bit of a weird day. I've gone through the Fujifilm X-Pro2 and then we've gone to Travel Massive and other things. But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video somewhat. If you did, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, then subscribe and you'll get updates on when I'm doing new videos. So I'm actually planning to do more with the Fujifilm X-Pro2 and other things. And of course, Elly's also doing more with her X-T10.
And we're going on trips.
And we're going on trips. We don't know where. We're going to go somewhere.
No, we do
oh no, we do know where.
Yeah,
we're going up. We're going up to.
Next week.
All right. Do tell them everything. So yeah, we're going to post more from Queensland and other areas of Victoria as we're travelling Australia. So thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll catch you later.
Bye.
Bye.